Good afternoon. Welcome, committee members, board members, staff, and our online attendees to our Toronto Seniors Housing Quality and Tenant Engagement meeting on Tuesday, November 18th. Thank you all for joining us today. I'd like to acknowledge that, similar to other months, there's lots of things that we are acknowledging, and now November is Hindu Heritage Month, Albanian Heritage Month, and Lebanese Heritage Month. Once again, we have a full agenda, and we don't usually go into a closed session, but we have one item that does require a closed meeting, a closed session. So we will be going into closed session early on in the meeting, and then coming back for the rest of the meeting. So for those of you that are online, we will actually have numerous items afterwards, and we hope that you'll hang in with us and rejoin us. So we'll resume at that point. We have a deputation on item 15 under community programs and partnerships. I will now proceed to our next agenda item, which is our land and African ancestral acknowledgements. Toronto Seniors Housing acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Toronto is home to a vast diversity of First Nation, Inuit, and Métis people who enrich the city. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Treaty between the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe nations, the Two-Row Wampum Treaty between the Haudenosaunee and the Dutch, as well as Treaty 13 and the Williams Treaty involving the Anishinaabe and the Crown. Toronto Seniors Housing is committed to reconciliation. We honor the land through our commitments and programs that reflect and respect its heritage. Our land acknowledgement, admittedly, marks a small but step in the process of reconciliation and building a positive relationship with Indigenous people. For me, it centers us at this point at the meeting where we are. I'll now acknowledge our African ancestral acknowledgement. Toronto Seniors Housing Corporation acknowledges that racism and injustices faced by individuals who are brought to this land involuntarily, particularly those affected by the transatlantic slave trade. We acknowledge the experiences of Black people who arrived in Canada seeking a better life following the abolition of slavery by the British in 1834, while also recognizing the structural, systemic, and individual racism that they encountered, which continues to persist today. This racism culminated in the tragic destruction of Africville, which was once the largest settlement of the Black community in Canada. Toronto Seniors Housing, including the board, is committed to recognizing all forms of racism, especially anti-Black racism, and is actively working to combat these injustices. And I'll just ask people to just take a moment, center yourself, and maybe think a little bit about the words. I don't want them to just be words that are spoken without actually some thought. Okay, we will now go to our next agenda item, new business and approval of the QTech public meeting minute and agenda. And I would actually, before I mention that, I would actually like to welcome one of our new board members who has joined us today for the first time at the QTech. Not officially a member of this committee yet, but I look forward for your participation, and I do want to welcome Jess Cahoon. All right, does any board member have any new business or amendments to this agenda? Hearing none, may I have a QTA committee member move that the November 18th, 2025 QTech committee public meeting agenda be approved as presented? Lawrence?
So moved.
Yeah.
Jim, and seconded by Lawrence. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. With all in favor, be it resolved that the November 18th, 2025 public meeting agenda is presented to the QTech committee is approved. We'll now proceed to item number 4, which is our conflict of interest. May I call for any declarations of conflict of interest? Okay, I'm going to scan everybody. Okay, hearing none. We will move on to item 5, and if there's any conflicts that arise during the course of the meeting, please just identify at that time. Sometimes it's not clear until we're in the item, so thank you. Then we're now going to go to our minutes. Item 5, approval of the QTech committee public minutes. Does anyone have any comments or edits to the public meeting minutes of September 30th, 2025? Okay, I don't see anyone's hands and I don't hear anyone. So hearing none, may I have a committee member approve the public minutes as presented? Thank you, Lawrence. And seconded by Jim. All in favor? Terrific. And thank you very much for those who actually take the minutes. Anybody who's done minutes knows it's not an easy task. And I'm always amazed at actually how comprehensive and well done they are. So thank you to the staff that do that. We'll now proceed to item 6, action item reviews. We do not have any outstanding action items. Does anyone have any comments to the action item list? And again, a thank you for people for following up on items that come up at the meeting. All right, hearing none, we'll move to item 7. I'm looking for a motion to move into the closed session. I ask someone to move that we transfer into closed session under TSHC bylaw 1/2021, section 419, subsection 1A and 1J. May I have someone to move that? Lawrence. Are you sure we got those numbers right, Lawrence? Thank you. And a seconder, Jim. All in favor?
Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you. And again, we will be back, I imagine, in about 20 minutes. Might be a little bit longer, but I think we'll be back in to the rest of the group. And I'm going to ask Karen to take us out of the public realm and let us know when we're ready.